already? Oh, sorry, I was just enjoying some good music, but I'll be right with you for a really good review. In the meantime, enjoy some of this music.
It's cold and it's cloudy outside. The last minute packing a bucket of spade and sandwiches made for the ride. There's nervous excitement, adventure's begun. The car fuels the man of its job. The clouds stare apart to the rays of the sun. Images start to run wild. Charging, chasing, speeding to victory. Gallant hero, figure from history. Robert, Mary, Simon and Harriet, riding helmets in ludicrous chariots. The sight of the ocean, the smell of the sea, the first touch of sand on your toes. The kings of the castle.
Sorry about what just happened, but I was really in the moment enjoying a great album. In fact, it's the album I was going to review. Well, why don't I do that then? It's this one. ArK, Wild Untamed Imaginings. Before I go on, I have to tell you, make sure you don't misunderstand. There's another ArK, it's a Norwegian metal band with Jorn Lande. That's not this one. This one is the band with a guy we all know, John Jowett, on it, and a lot of other very good musicians. This is the album I wanted to talk to you about. Now, you already heard a small piece of the music, which gives you a very good idea of what kind of album this is. I find it a very fresh album. It's not exactly a typical prog rock album. It has a lot of diversity, a lot of styles on it. It even has some punk influences on it, so it's really a wild album, and that's what I like about it. Nothing to be in the background, something you really have to play loud. The history of ArK dates back to 1985, when the band was formed out of some other bands. Some guys got together, they formed the band ArK. John Jowett joined after a while. They made some albums, they played, and they were quite popular, but after about 10 years everything ended for them. And now we have another album. How would that have happened? Well, I'd like to know that, wouldn't you? Well, here's someone who can tell us how that happened. Hello, John.
Hi, Marcel.
John, thank you for dropping by. Could you maybe tell the liveprog viewers the story about how ArK got back together? Because we're all very curious.
Well, the way that ArK came together this time was really a matter of happenstance. I had a message from Steve Harris, the guitar synth player with ArK, after 15 or so years, saying would like to get together to do some writing, some recording, and you know me, always up for playing and writing with people. So we got in touch, started talking, and just decided that it would be a good way to start things off, to start playing with some of the old ArK tracks. Literally within a few weeks I bumped into Pete Wheatley, the guitar player from ArK, down the pub about 300 yards down the road from where I live, sitting there with Mark Westwood, Martin Bowen, having a quiet pint, as I'm known to occasionally, and in walks Pete. Start talking. What you doing, Pete? Or playing guitar in a few bands. What you doing, John? Well, actually I'm talking to Steve Harris, thinking about doing some of the old ArK material. You wouldn't be interested, would you, Pete? And Pete says, well, yeah, I would actually. So we start talking, and who else are we going to use? Tony wouldn't be interested, would he, Pete? Yeah, I think he would. And that was it, really. Sadly, we couldn't get any of the old drummers to help out, but fortunately, at an Invite gig a few weeks before, I bumped into Dec Burke from Frost and Darwin's, and Tim Churchman from Darwin's Radio 2, and Tim, chatting away, had said if there was anything available he'd be up for doing some more stuff. So I got in touch with Tim, very keen, very good, worked out very well, and yeah, very happy with the results.
Well, John, thanks a lot for explaining that, so that's very nice to hear. Well, we are of course very happy that the guys got back together. Now, of course, Tim Churchman on drums. I find him a very good drummer. I'm happy that he joined ArK on this one. Now, of course, we can talk the whole clip, but that's not what we want. We want to hear some more music. So I'll give you a little bit of a more proggy song on this one. This is called Flag Day.
His father came to him with news of their demise. The peasants turned from work to light the burning fire. The shone like beacons with a message full of hate. A crumbling government assembled to debate. A mere formality, and anyhow too late to save the system of injustice and decay. Tinker, tailor, poor man stole, judging not by another's soul. Ambition in life to wield the stick upon the words that we all lick.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that song. It's definitely one of my favorites on the album. Now, when ArK got back together, there were two things they wanted. First of all, they wanted to record some of the older material properly, which they were not able to do back then. And secondly, they want to bring the music of ArK to a wider audience. Well, with Wild Untamed Imaginings, I think they've did a great job in that. And with signing with Prog Records, I think they are reaching a very wide audience indeed. It's a very good company with heart for music. Now, of course we know that we won't get rich from progressive rock, but it's all about the love for music. And that is something that you clearly hear in this album. The guys have fun in playing the songs, in doing everything. They have fun in performing the songs live. That is what it's all about in music. And that is why this album is such a treat to listen to. It's not a soft album, I gotta tell you that. It's not background music. It can be pretty heavy sometimes. But, well, you just have to listen to the album and discover it. Because, as I said, it's a variety of influences and sounds on the album which will keep you listening, you know, it'll keep your attention to the music. Now, you see me with a guitar, you see me with a piano. I can't play any of those instruments, so let's just listen to people who can play the instruments. Here's the song God.
And the future's looking good, and you're not quite sure who plays the fool by robbing for the hoods. If you're hungry, I can feed you. It's my promise to trust and lead you. I'll take a vow here and now to make your dreams unfold. So join with me for victory. We'll build a land of gold. If you want to make your choices, I can help all silence your voices. God, yeah. God, yeah. God, yeah. God, yeah.
Well, you can hear definitely a more rougher version of ArK in this song, and I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, ArK is not your typical prog band. The main reason is, well, not of course in style, but also the fact that in their lineup they don't use keyboards. Well, keyboards is always considered an essential element of prog rock. It's lacking with them. Instead of that they have a guitar synth. Well, I find it a very interesting choice, and considering the result, a very good choice. I wouldn't want to have them do it any other way. What I also like is the flute in the songs. It gives them, you know, the cream on top of the cake, so to say. Now, for me, I'm happy ArK is back together. I'm happy they made this album. Of course, I'm curious. John, what are the plans for the future for ArK? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Plan going forward is to record some new material that we started writing, to do some more shows in the new year, hopefully coming over to Holland and further afield, and then to record a live album DVD towards the end of the year, so hopefully nice and busy. Cheers, all the best.
Well, John, thank you very much for explaining this, and thank you for taking the time to, well, share some of your thoughts with me and with the rest of our liveprog audience, and good luck with the band. I hope this review has been able to give you an impression of, well, the sound of ArK, of what the album Wild Untamed Imaginings is all about, and of course what the band ArK is all about. Now, they've been performing in England so far, and people have been very enthusiastic about them. So the next step, and please, dear venue holders, if you're watching this, please consider bringing ArK to the Dutch stages, not only in Holland, but Belgium, Germany, Spain, Italy, whatever. Bring them here, let them play. Of course, everybody should get this album. It's a really good album. I love it very much, but I'm a little biased, so don't take my word for it. Listen to the album yourself. You'll enjoy it just as much. Now, I'm going to leave you with the last song, which is absolutely my favorite of this album. It's called Eighth Deadly Sin. I hope I say it right. I'm Dutch, so some words are a bit difficult, but never mind that. Enjoy the music. And thank you for watching this review. Hope to see you at another review. Goodbye.
Wind howls, a candle burns, sweat breaks out, my stomach turns. Wild untamed imaginings, a pen to paper are a king. Behold, a myth is born, when darkness yields another dawn. Stubbing out a cigarette, when will I repay the debts? Dark dreams in the night, I never know what's wrong or right. Break out lines, break out lines. When I walk into the sun, shadows crawl on the wall, covering me. Cold tongues caress my skin, create the eighth most deadly sin. Wish I